And we begin tonight at 6 with a live look at the roads after this big winter storm. Many still covered in snow. In fact, we could see them become a little icy because of the brutally cold temperatures.
And because of that, we've seen crashes and slide-offs all day long. In fact, we checked in with Indiana State Police. They say the Indianapolis area alone has seen more than 120 crashes and slide-offs in just the last 36 hours. And you add up the stranded drivers, 400 stranded drivers on central Indiana roadways.
So that's why we've got team coverage for you tonight at 6. Crews trying to clear the snow off the interstates and the residential roads. But let's begin with Sean. He's in for Angela and tracking the forecast for us.
Yeah, and when we get this kind of deep snowpack and as cold as it is, some kind of weird things can happen. It just gets so cold at the ground that after sunset, it wouldn't shock me by tomorrow morning if we start to get a little glaze back on the roads, some of which they've just cleared. I know the neighborhoods are still very messy, but you know, I'll show you some of our NDOT cameras. This is I-70 here on the south side, where you can see way more pavement here. This, again, by the time we get into tomorrow morning or overnight, it's possible that we could have a little glazing redeveloping here. So need to be aware of that. Exposed skin, this is what it's going to feel like, just like needles, 10 to 20 on the wind chill. Temperatures in the low single digits, and now that the sun's going down, we've got the fresh snow. Before midnight, just about everybody's going to be below zero here. So temperatures are going to crash hard. It doesn't look like nothing but low or cloud cover. Not a lot of blue showing up here. This is going to be clouds near the ground. So this stuff could be freezing on contact early tomorrow morning. And we keep it way below average well into the weekend coming up in the 7-day forecast.
All right, Sean, thank you so much. We have seen some counties in central Indiana downgrade from travel warnings to watches. But still, when you look at this map at this hour, you still see there's plenty of red. That means only emergency workers should be out on the roadways, and you can see Marion County's in that. And that's probably fine for most people as we are waiting for the road crews to clear away the snow.
Indy's snow response plan got a lot of criticism last year for failing to tackle residential roads. But there's a new plan in place. So we wondered today, is it all working?
Yes, so to get some answers, we sent our Jenna out to Broad Ripple to find out. Jenna, what'd you find?
Well, so I have two different answers for you guys. We've got two very different realities in the Broad Ripple area when it comes to the snow response. Some are waking up pleasantly surprised. Others, like where I am right now, just feel this is another case of deja vu.
Did Mr. Jones say anything? Yeah, we put food coloring in.
There are two ways to spend a snow day. The kid way, engineering your own igloo.
I almost put her in my room.
Start your grunting now.
And the adult way.
It is. It's only a few minutes. You know, it's like fighting in the ring or something. You know, 5 minutes and I'm gassed.
Mike Celentano knows it's just part of winter. But there's one thing he would change.
I probably am going to want to shovel some of the street too.
His Broad Ripple neighborhood looks better for snowshoeing than driving.
You can fit 4 cars across, yeah. It's one of the wider streets, and it's one of the streets that doesn't get plowed, ironically, so.
Gleb Alexiev is well aware of Indy's new policy. 4 inches of snow means city contractors start plowing residential streets.
It looks like about 11, 12 inches. I tried to come out with my ruler last night and it was too cold, so I gave up.
And look at the street next to Jennifer Farquhar. Plows made it to her neighborhood a few dozen blocks northeast.
I think it's pretty rare, actually. I mean, I lived here 25 years. I think maybe we've had it plowed here 3 times, maybe 4 times. I heard them. I think it was early this morning that they came by, and I did hear it twice.
Yeah, that is surprising. I'm happy for them.
I don't know what's special about our area, but I think our block is the one that is the only one that doesn't get plowed, so.
Alexiev understands the city has to prioritize major routes, but wants to understand how residential areas compare against each other.
Frankly, sometimes I think the dads that have the snow blowers need to come out.
For now, neighbors are digging out, left wondering just how many days until spring.
And this isn't bad. It could have been this way all winter. So counting my blessings.
So look, just to reiterate, neighbors near Dan Wakefield Park, they get it. They get the city has more priority routes to get to. However, one does tell me he hopes that they do get to this area sooner rather than later. They just don't want all this cold weather this week to pack this snow down, get it frozen to the ground. But hey, they're also not going to be surprised if they don't see a plow out here. But this was just one of the areas we were checking out today, looking at the city's snow fighting response. Our Rich Nye, how's the Fountain Square area looking?
Yeah, Jenna, get inside, warm up. I'm thankful to be just riding along tonight as we've checked out the streets of Fountain Square throughout the day. And as we have driven around, I have only seen one street that was really truly plowed that you would call a residential street. Now, we're having some technical difficulties, but I'm going to try to turn around my camera here for you. There you go. And you get a look. This is Lexington Avenue. And you can see this is a street that is a little bit wider, but it's got parking on just one side. And you can drive this street, but it's certainly not been plowed, although this section here may have been plowed more recently. Just one block south is Pleasant Street. That's where I found a young married couple digging out their car this afternoon. They live on a street where cars park on both sides of the street, and it's a very, very narrow passage.
The snow was pretty high. It's like a lot on the top, and then like you cannot see the wheel. So we're just trying to get all this snow like out of the way, so in case we have to drive somewhere.
How difficult is getting up and down this road when you've got cars on both sides and then the snow so high?
It's already difficult without the snow, so it doesn't make it any easier. I'm already thinking about calling into work.
And this is video I shot earlier today on that Pleasant Street. You can see just how narrow it is. And some cars buried, and cars that may not be able to get out even if they are able to unbury themselves. Meantime, Matthew Foltz also has been out on the streets of Indianapolis today where those residents, Matthew, waiting for those plows to come through.
Yeah, Rich, that's right. I'm over here on the near north side along 10th Street next to the Woodrow Place neighborhood. So right now we're actually turning on 10th Street. And as you can see your screen, if our drive cam is up, you'll see that 10th Street right now is one of the main roads that is clear. But we're going to take a right into Woodrow's Place, which is right next to east of Arsenal Tech High School. And you can see right now it is just completely covered and completely untouched. How we just entered the neighborhood just now, all afternoon I've seen people getting stuck with front wheel drive, either trying to get into the neighborhood or try to get out. And as you can see, we're right now following tire tracks going about 5 miles an hour, as you know, that's how slow you really have to take it if you're trying to get out. But I spoke to some other residents on the city's east side today who said they're kind of frustrated with the lack of their roads being plowed. Take a listen to what they had to say.
I'd like to see them actually do what they say they're going to do, actually come down here and plow, and not pile it all the way up against everybody's cars where they're parked. I don't care if you pile it back up on the sidewalk. I don't have no problem digging it back out.
Now, we did hear from DPW that right now contractors are working around the clock to treat and plow these residential neighborhoods. We're told they have until Tuesday at 5 p.m. to get it done. But Scott and Ann, the main message, if you don't have to be on the roadways, stay at home.
Yep, that is good advice. Matthew Foltz, be careful out there. Thanks so much. And we've been tracking the cleanup in several neighborhoods across Indy. In fact, you may be asking, when will the plows reach your street?
That's right. What about me? Mayor Joe Hogsett and Indy DPW gave an update this afternoon on the snow removal efforts. Ashton Hackman was at the press conference, and he joins us now with what the planned timeline is to clean all this up.
Yeah, news that all of those neighbors are waiting for. They say they are going to get all of this done by the end of the day tomorrow. That's the goal for now. We'll see if they measure up to that. But this is really the first major test and the first major snowstorm with this new snow removal plan in action. Crews have been working 12-hour shifts since late Friday. They started on all of those priority roads and major connectors. City contractors, they are now hitting those roads around, they started at 5 last night. They're trying to move through those residential areas. Obviously, a lot of those streets are tight to get down. So far, crews have finished about half of the neighborhoods in 5 of the 9 city townships. In the meantime, that travel warning for Marion County, that will improve to a watch at midnight for essential travel only.
The snowfall has ceased. And that means we are now in a position to secure the safety of our streets once more.
So if you have to go out on the roads tonight or tomorrow, certainly slow down, stay focused, pay attention in front of you. You also might be wondering why we haven't seen much salt on the roads. It's because these temperatures are just far too cold. The salt that the city has, it's not going to work. And this snowstorm, it's been a beater on the equipment. We've been told by NDDPW they've lost 10 trucks to maintenance. They started with 80, they're down to about 70. So they're feeling the burden of this storm as well.